We never landed on the moon. JFK was assassinated by the CIA. I never loved you.
Alright. Like a new hat?
No.
You need a corncob pipe.
It's falling off my head.
Nose. No, it's not. It's taped on.
Yeah, with Canada Post tape. It's falling off. It hurts. It's sticking to my fur.
Good.
Whoa.
Another one.
Yeah.
Another one.
I thought that you were supposed to put it in my hat.
Oh.
Let's try that again.
Okay.
Well.
Another one. Thank you, fine fella.
Ah!
Ta-da!
Another beautiful
Kanzashi.
ornament done by Mara.
A wreath. A little wreath. Aretha.
Keep it still.
Aretha. Oh, here, you want to see it?
I've seen it. It's
and
beautiful.
It's got a little bell on it. Oh man.
How is it made?
Cute. It's made with Kanzashi petals. Well, they're leaves. They're petals, but they're leaf petals. So there's that, and then there's little filaments of little lighter green, and then a little red bow, a little bell, and some Swarovski crystals.
So if people have been watching our videos, they would know how to do...
Yes, so if you have been watching our videos, how I make these little petals has been shown now twice on 2 videos. The first one being the Halloween Kanzashi, and the second one being the ornament that we did, the Christmas ornament.
And these are the easiest ones to do.
Yeah, these are the easiest little petals to make, and I find they look they're the most versatile, I think. Because these ones, which are new on this video, so you'll see how I make these little bow petals, they're not as versatile as the other stuff.
And they're also harder to make.
Yeah, slightly harder to make, but I like how they turn out. I really like how they look. I like them when they're tinier though. So this was a little bit different because I actually used them on the bigger size, but it worked out well because it's a little Christmas bow.
Cool. Shall we show them?
Yeah. Coming at you with another tutorial. Kanzashi wreath making.
What's with the arm thing?
I'm my own hype man. Okay, we're making a wreath today. So all I did was the standard petal that I always use for Kanzashi. I made a ton of green ones. Like more than you think you need. Just make a ton. So here I've got, this is actually like floral arrangement tape that I got at Michael's, and it is kind of sticky. I think it's for like making little, anyway, I don't know what it's for. I got it in the flower making section. It just worked for this. I'm hiding a piece of cardboard that I cut into a circle. I'm hiding it with the green tape so that when you actually look at it, it meshes into the green petals. I know I'm brilliant. And I just wrapped. And it's kind of sticky, so it just kind of sticks together, but I still had to use a little bit of glue because I didn't want it to come unfurling when I was making my wreath. And with this one, I actually didn't do the little sponge technique where I plan out my arrangement first. I just sort of winged it, and I kind of just decided, well, if they're all kind of going in the same direction, like a wreath, like kind of like if you were to take a fir tree and bend it in a circle. Well, that was kind of the idea here. So I just keep adding these petals. I sort of staggered them, like kind of overlapped the corners in a line. So I did like the first round, and then you'll see me do a second kind of round up through the middle. See, they're kind of staggered a little bit, so they kind of overlap just a touch on each other, so that you can't see too much of the green cardboard at this point. Pull on all my green petals, make it easier for me. I kind of just play with it a little bit to get them to like point the right way. But yeah, as far as this tutorial goes, I'm just placing these all in a circle, and there you have it. I just, like magic, I've done it all. So here, now I'm just kind of going through the inner loop with more petals in kind of, so where you would see the like there's peaks and valleys of the petals, in the valleys of the petals I've placed the peak of the inner circle's petals. So you can kind of see where there would be spaces on the outer ring, there's going to be now a petal pointing kind of in that space from the inner circle. But still all going in the same direction. Yeah, it's kind of a lot of just fiddling with and playing with and getting them to line up the way that you want them to. Because you don't want them to look too manicured. You want them to look sort of naturally, sort of just natural, but not perfectly symmetrical. I burned myself and then I got glue on the table, my bad. But yeah, so then this little wreath it's really straightforward. It's just adding the petals. Just make sure you make a whole bunch of them in advance so that you're not, you know, scrambling to add more when you're building the wreath. It just makes your life a lot easier. Alright, almost done here. So it's not perfect, like there's some, like there's a little bit of the wreath that's a little thicker just because of the petal shape. There's the size of the petals. I mean, you can't make them all perfectly the same size, so there's just an area of the wreath that's just a little bit thicker, and that's where I'm going to be hanging the bow and little bell, kind of like it, so that the wreath is a little bit more like bottom heavy. So yeah, it ended up working out nicely. Then I've got these little tiny little green pieces. So I used the satin green ribbon and I cut smaller, like I made smaller petals, so I cut the ribbon into smaller squares. Like you can see me measuring out with the smaller white piece to make smaller squares, and then I'm folding those. Same exact technique, same fold as the bigger petals, but just with the other shade of green. And I'm just gonna tuck, I think I do only like just a few, like a handful, like 5 or 6. I just tuck in kind of like various places in the wreath just to add a little bit more depth with the different shades, the different tones. You could probably even use like red or white and it would look like berries or it would look like snow. So yeah, it's really like a free-for-all kind of with this image, or what am I saying, this project. So I just tuck them in. Before I glue them, I just tuck them in, see if I like how it looks, test it out, see if it looks good, see if it doesn't look good, see if I need, you know, an odd number or an even number. And like, just be patient with these little projects, because the petals can sometimes have a mind of their own and, you know, not tuck in the way you want them to, not lay the way you want them to, so you just kind of have to play around with it. It's just be patient and fiddle with it, you know, as much as you want to, and just get the right shape, the right placement, you know, and then add the glue. There you go. Tuck in little green pieces, kind of pinching and tucking and all that good stuff. Alright, I think that's the last one. Oh yeah, there we go. See, it really came together there. Just be patient with the project. Sometimes you might think when you start, you're like, oh, I don't know how this is gonna look, but it'll come together, trust me. So this is the different fold that I do for the petal. So again, it's just match the 2 points, fold it in half triangular ways, and then again in half again. But instead of folding that little triangle in half, you spread the 2 petals and you wrap them kind of around your tweezer. Pinch that set like that little tip piece in, so you create that rounded edge. And then just like the other petals, grab it with your needle nose pliers and trim off the excess. Burn the edges together, give it a little squeeze so that the edges stick, and then you're good to go. So I make 2 of these to form the little bow shape. And so what I did here, figured out the placement, and then I cut a narrow strip of that same red ribbon, maybe about an inch and a half long, and maybe about half a centimeter wide, about a centimeter wide, I'd say. So I glued the 2 points together, and then I'm kind of measuring out this strip of ribbon, and I'm going to wrap that around the center so that it looks like creates that kind of bow shape. And always melt your edges because this ribbon frays so much and it's just irritating to work with if it's not sealed off. And then see, wrapped around middle, and then I'm just going to glue just the back edge down and then kind of just wrap it. There you have it, a little Kanzashi bow. And so I left a tail of that ribbon that I used to wrap around the bow. I left just a touch so that I could actually glue that to the back of the wreath, so that you had, you don't see any glue on the front side. And then here I bought these little bells in the craft store at Michael's, and just kind of deciding what I think looks the best. The gold, just a single gold bell, and a needle and thread. So I always just thread the needle or the thread through the needle, and then tie off the 2 ends. And then, I mean, anybody's probably sewn a button or sewn anything, so just like you would anything, just loop it on the bell and sew it to the wreath. Sorry, you can't see it right now because I, for some reason, need to hold projects like right up to my eyeball to do a good job, so. Oh, there, cameraman saves the day. And yeah, I just kind of reinforce it with the thread. You don't want to poke it through the front of the wreath at all, so just try to stay working on the back side as much as possible. And then just reinforce it, just like you would a button. And then tie it off and trim off the excess thread. And there it is. So you could leave it like that if you wanted to, and you could stick it on something, you put it on a brooch, or you could put it on a card, or I don't know, you could do anything with it, but I actually, well, I'm adding more Swarovski crystals, as you can see, but I add a little loop of like cream ribbon, just like, so it's got like a hanger on it. So here I just place the Swarovskis, the crystals, however you say that word, Swarovski. Swarovski? Swarovski. Just adds a little pop of color, like it's got lights in it or something, or a little gold dusting, like little gold lights. Just adds that little bit of pizzazz. Yeah, the hot glue is so messy, so just be careful with those little strings. You don't want to ruin your project, the hot glue strings all over it. Then it just looks cheap and crappy. There it is, Kanzashi Wreath.
I'm getting itchy.
Yeah, I can
This is
imagine
itchy.
that hat would be itchy because it's like made from wicker bats.
Super itchy. No, it's a tape.
Oh, it's the tape, it's not the wicker?
Yeah, it's a tape.
Well, let me help you with that.
Yeah, help me. No! 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 Ah!
Not so bad?
I'll get you back.
This would actually be a really good hat, though.
Yeah, if you don't rip it off my head. So, how was the craft?
It was good. I really like this one. Actually, this one, when I first started the tutorial, I was a little nervous. I was like, I don't know how this is gonna look, but as usual, looks wonderful.
Give me a break. We were both worried about that.
I know, but it ended up turning out really, like, way better.
You had to make so many leaves.
I know, I was getting so mad.
This is something that you want to do in a relaxing setting.
Yeah.
Making these leaves, they're nice.
Like, I think the best thing to do with Kanzashi is, like, make a bunch of these petals in a bunch of different colors of ribbon and just have them ready to go for your project so that you're not, like, you can use your energy when you go to make the thing on just, like, putting the flower together and creating a nice design instead of having to use your energy on making each little petal.
It's like making Lego pieces, maybe.
Yeah, like, well, it's like, yeah, anything that requires a lot of pieces, you just kind of want to build instead of having to make the pieces and then build.
And then once they're built and you start making your project, you don't have to worry.
Yeah, because you could just have, like, an array of colors to pick from.
Exactly.
So, yeah. But it's like, I guess it wasn't that. I think that's because I was trying to take on, I thought I was going to take on like a bigger project. And I scaled it back a bit, just, you know, didn't want to get too crazy. Because
it's a lot of work.
Well, the tutorial would be really long. So I thought this was a better option. And the wreath looks really cute. Can you see it?
It's going to be blurry, probably.
You think so? Maybe? Maybe not. I don't know.
Did you use the crystals again, too?
I did use the crystals again, the Swarovski crystals. I could have swore we bought silver ones, and then I ended up finding them today. But I think the gold worked better.
You want to keep it simple. You don't want to use too many crystals.
No, because it's like, it's a delicate, Kanzashi's a delicate art. So like, it's supposed to be pretty and not gaudy.
Like we said before, check the blog.
Yep, wakkuwakku.com. Always check the blog. Go to the blog, we'll have pictures, close-ups, so you can see like a better picture, better shot, a clearer shot. And then Wakku tips and like all the supplies and everything you need to know, and if you want to make one yourself, and it's super, super easy.
It is very easy.
All my tutorials are easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another one in the bag for our 12-part Christmas, 12 Days of Christmas series.
I can tell you're so tired, eh?
I'm very tired.
Too much crafting.
And everything else, man. If I was crafting full time, it'd be a different story, but I'm not. I'm working and crafting.
See you next time, guys. Merry Christmas.
Goodbye!